Hi, my name's Emily. I'm Key Stage 3 lead and science at Manchester Communications Academy.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm a science teacher at Manchester Communication Academy, and Emily and I both did our teacher training with the North Manchester Initial Teacher Training Partnership.
We did our training from 2017 to 2018 together, which was an amazing experience. And we're just going to ask each other a couple of questions so you can learn a little bit more about what to expect if you're going to get onto this training programme. So firstly, Jasmine, how did you find your training with North Manchester?
I would say, I'm not going to lie, it was stressful. It was busy and there was a lot to do, but it's definitely the fastest that you'll ever develop as a person. Yeah. Like, it's definitely you will gain so many skills that you didn't know you had. You'll become a master in time management. And really, overall, you just absolutely love your time there. It goes so quickly. And when you look back at how much you progressed in such a short time, really, it's just amazing. It's so astonishing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how fast you when you first join the training program, it's scary to even think about going into a classroom and talking to some teenagers, but you quickly see yourself developing, don't you? And it's very rewarding that you constantly reflect on how your practice as a teacher improves, and that's really rewarding and builds your confidence massively, doesn't it, as you go
definitely.
Which is fantastic. Okay, what do you think your highlights were? What would you say of your training year?
Highlights?
Yeah.
Highlights were Friday training days.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved those. So every week, every Friday, all of the trainees would get together and we'd have an organised training session. And it was just so nice to be able to all come together because we'd all be on different placements, all teaching different subjects at different schools. So we'd be able to sort of chat about loads of things, like offload on the week, and just gain like a different perspective on things, which was really, really valuable, like having such a close cohort of people going through exactly the same thing as you are. So that was definitely, I'll never forget those days and like the people we trained with. Obviously.
Yeah, we made some amazing friends each other. We're really, really close friends and we work together now every day, which is like a blessing. But we made so many friends and it was such a supportive network of people, wasn't it? So like even though it was very stressful and very demanding, you sort of always had that support. So if you were feeling down, you always had those people around you, as well as the people that run the course. They were always there to support you.
You always you could reach out for help and and they'd be there to like rally you around and like get you going again. And that was just invaluable.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of my highlights were as well developing my confidence to teach like all different abilities, but also out of my specialism, because as we're science teachers, we need to teach biology, chemistry and physics as separate topics. But obviously we went to university and we both trained in biology, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I found that was really rewarding, that I got the opportunity to work with subject specialists in the department and develop my physics knowledge. And we attended lots of professional development, didn't we, to increase our knowledge of physics and chemistry. And that was really. Oh no, you did chemistry, didn't you?
Yeah. So
Sorry, I liked the biology. Yeah.
So with the skit, like they were really, really good in responding to sort of like our feedback on things. So they would ask us, well, what do you feel like you need subject knowledge enhancement for? And they were really, really good at acting on that and organising subject knowledge enhancement for us. Like, for example, like both of us, I definitely think felt quite weak in physics at the beginning. So we were offered like quite a few days on different topics in that, and that was really, really good. I found that really useful as well during the first year.
Now we both teach GCSE physics confidently, which is.
I would not have thought that 2 years ago.
I know. Well, you wouldn't, would you? You go in and you just learn so much. I think that was a massive highlight for me, and also just like meeting you and the other lifelong friends that we made along the way. I think that's a massive highlight.
Yeah.
I think having that support is really important when you're a teacher, isn't it? To be.
Yeah, definitely. If you think we're all quite like-minded people, like we've all chosen to do the same career, but yeah, so we just all got on like instantly. Like it was so great. Like we all just clicked, and like we're all still friends now. It's just great. It's really good.
Yeah, okay, next one. How well did the programme prepare you for a career in teaching?
I think it had a really good schedule in terms of building up the amount of responsibility that you had throughout the course. Like it sort of gave you some, not, I don't want to say rest time, but time at the beginning to kind of come to terms with being in a school. Because even just that alone, it was like a big shock to my system anyways, like changing careers and like being in a totally different setting. And then it sort of really gradually builds you up until by the end of the year, like you've got full control over like 3 or 4 different classes, like depending on the timetable.
Almost you get to almost a full teaching timetable, don't you?
But it's a really gradual change, and the support is there to sort of like to show you how to get there. And I feel like it's done at the right times, because in the first term, when you're sort of only leading on like one class or something, at the time you're like, oh my god, I'm every hour of my day is filled with just this one class. There's no way I'm going to be able to be up to like 4 classes or something by the end. But somehow it just works. Like the way that they kind of like take away that scaffolding, like one step at a time. It's like it's literally like they train you with training wheels on, and then like, okay, well, let's take those off, and it really progresses you, so that by the end of the year you look back and you're like, whoa, like I've come such a long way. And that sort of scheduled of just like building up the layers of responsibility that you took on was like really, really useful.
Definitely. I think a big thing was at the start, right at the start, when you're learning how to plan a lesson and use proper lesson plans, it's a really long process to think about how you're going to get those kids to learn what you are teaching them. There's a difference between delivering information and learning it. And I think it took so long to plan those lessons at the start because you weren't comfortable with it. But as you progress and you get really confident with that, the time comes away from the planning and more in your actual practice, isn't it? So it sort of shifts over.
Yeah,
so you spend a lot of time at the start, but it's more like planning lessons, going to CPD sessions, learning, and then it gradually goes more to you practicing those skills that you've learned.
As you learn more, like how to plan an efficient lesson, like Emily says, like there's such a difference between like planning a lesson and making sure that they actually learn it. And you sort of like, you realize that you're like, oh, right, this is really the fundamentals of what I need to be doing. And like the way that you plan to take the changes, but they give you that support that you need to get there. And that's great.
Yeah, definitely. I think also we both trained with North Manchester Initial Teacher Training Partnership, and we both had a placement at Manchester Communication Academy, which is where we work now. So in terms of preparing us for our career in teaching, we actually got a really amazing experience in the place that we were going to get a job, which was amazing. Like the placements they put you in as well seem to be like you can adapt them to what suits you as well. So Jasmine was at another school, but was doing and making loads and loads of progress when she came to Manchester Communication Academy. So she stayed there, and they sort of altered your route, didn't they? Which was, I think, was really nice that they responded to what you were doing so well with. And we got that experience to work in the place that we're in now. So we massively prepared us for when we started our NQT year, didn't it?
Yeah, that was great. Like you say, the way that they responded to sort of like our requests for what was working well for us, like they were really flexible, and that was really good.
And then the last question I'm going to ask is, would you recommend NMITTP to a potential trainee teacher, and why? Sorry, that was a very long acronym. Okay.
I definitely would, because as scary as it seems to take on all that responsibility, like it seems like a lot to think like, oh gosh, like I'm going to be teaching in a classroom and stuff this year and all that stuff. It feels like a lot of pressure. But I just think that the way that it prepares you, the way that it builds up your self-confidence, and not even for teaching, like for you in your personal life, like I definitely think it's the best thing that I've ever done in terms of like, I know in myself that I'm so much more confident now at talking in front of groups and taking like risks and taking chances and stuff. And it really, really develops you as a person, like not just as a teacher. So I would definitely recommend it because it sort of, it gives you the support system that you need to know that by the following September, you're going to take charge of your own classroom and you've already had a year in a classroom with like a support teacher there with you. So any questions or any issues that come up, for that full year, you've got someone else to sort of like ask for help or to rely on, get advice from.
How well you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So then by the time it comes to September, you're the professional in the room then, and you're really ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's, I think you've said everything I would there. I definitely think that from my experience training with a skip program, so where you're school centered rather than just the PGC alone, from what I've experienced in talking to people, I really would recommend doing a skip program rather than just the PGC alone, because you really, although you do get thrown in the deep end somehow, you've got that support. And you, like Jasmine said, you just build your confidence really quickly. Whereas I think sometimes with the PGC alone, you don't get as much experience in the classroom. So I think the skip prepares you really well, doesn't it, for going on to your career?
I think I might have felt a bit anxious about starting with an NQT in September if I hadn't had the amount of experience that I got from doing like a skip. Like a school-centered approach. I definitely think that gives you like so much experience in the school that you are just ready to take on your own classes by September. So that's a good point.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that little chat. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. You're each in the world.
See you at NMITTP.